And this position in the playoffs more than Reggie White, I don't know who that is.
Craig Hendrick will kick off. Back deep for Atlanta, Eric Metcalf and Jamal Anderson. The line drive kick is going to be handled by the dangerous Eric Metcalf. Good return out to about the 34. Travis Jervey made the stop. Let's look at the Atlanta offense led by Jeff George. Over 4,000 yards in front of him. An offensive line that's done a solid job. Whitfield, Tobeck, Fortin, Gene Williams, and Dave Richards. And the explosive receivers, the Ironhead, Craig Hayward behind George, Burton, Mathis, Metcalf, and Emmanuel, the receivers. They spread them out, and the Packers face a challenge in slowing this group down. First down, Atlanta at their own 33. George. Incomplete. Aimed it at Emmanuel. Good coverage. The Green Bay defense. Front four, Jones, Yurkovich, Gilbert Brown, and Matt LaBounty in place of Reggie White. Two linebackers, Kuntz and Simmons. Five defensive backs as they open with the nickel. Evans, Teague, Pryor, Butler, and Newsom. Second and 10 from the 33. Atlanta with the ball. Three-man front. George, deep. Picked off. George Teague, the interception. Teague still on his feet, still whirling close to the 21-yard line. Gene Williams finally made the stop. And those turnovers, as you saw yesterday in Detroit against Philadelphia, they will kill you.
As you said, Pat, the Packers on first down, they were in a four-man line. This time they went to a three-man line. They had three linebackers in there, five defensive backs. Teague was just sitting back there. They had two free safeties. He was the free safety on the right side. He read that all the way, and he just jumped right in front at the end.
Timed it perfectly. First and 10, Green Bay at the Atlanta 22. Pardon, Morgan. First down. DJ Johnson made the stop, and here's the Green Bay offense led by hot-handed Brett Favre. In front of him, an offensive line that's been together since game one. Rutgers, Taylor, Winters, Galbraith, and Dotson. Edgar Bennett, the runner. Dorsey Levens, the blocker. Morgan, Brooks, and Shimura.
First down.
They go with wide receivers. Four of them. On first down, Favre going to work. Incomplete. His intended receiver slipped down. That was Antonio Freeman. Let's look at that Atlanta defense. A few snow flurries begin to fall. Dolman, Gardner, Pierce Holt, and Chuck Smith up front. Darryl Talley, Jesse Tuggle, and Clay Matthews, over 100 years. DJ Johnson, Devin Bush, Kevin Ross, Darnell Walker, the secondary. Second and 10. Three wide receiver this time. Tight end to the right side. Bennett's the deep back. Hold it a second. Dick Hantak is the referee, excuse me.
I was just going to say it wasn't too much time because I looked at the clock and there was still time in the clock.
Ball start. Offense number 72. Went to a three-point stance. Came back up prior to the snap.
Earl Dotson.
Still second down.
Yeah, what the rule is when those offensive linemen, when they get down in a stance and they set, they have to stay set. And here's Dotson here, and what they said that he got down. You see a three-point stance, then he got up again. See, when he put his hand down, you can't move your hand. He put his hand down, picked it up, and put it down again.
If he had just left his hand on his knees, that's okay.
Right, he could stay in an up stance, but once he puts the hand down, it has to stay.
15 screen pass to Bennett. And the Falcons cover it in a hurry. Chris Dolman played it well.
Yeah, that was a big penalty on Earl Dotson because that put him back. Instead of having normal yardage, that put him in long yardage. Then they run a screen pass. I don't know where that one came from. And they lose again. Now they have third and real long.
18.
And I think now they have their field goal here. So I still think even though it's third and 18, this ball has to be thrown into the end zone. Here's where you take a shot.
They go with 3 wide receivers. Favre rushed and down he goes. Flag on the play as well. Chris Dolman was there.
And that's going to be in the area of offensive holding. And I'm sure the Falcons will turn it down. Well, it's clipping, but it's the same thing, and I'm sure that the Falcons will decline that.
Well, maybe
the field goal.
If they push him back, they might get him out of field goal range.
Number 73. Penalty is declined.
It is declined. You're right.
Yeah.
You were a coach.
I would think so, because even it's going to be a long field goal, and you're going to see the clip. It's going to be right there. Right. You see when he comes back. He gets beat right there in the line of scrimmage. That was Aaron Taylor. And then when he comes back, he clips him from behind.
Just tripped Jumpy Gathers.
And Jumpy Gathers is a tough guy to block. You have to get him any way you can, but not clip him.
Chris Jackie will try from 46 yards out with Hendrick holding. Enough distance, but not good. He pulled it. And the Falcons escape. It's still 0-0, and we're in the first quarter at Lambeau Field.
Pass that they lost 3 yards on.
Ugly start for both teams. The Falcons got the kickoff and got the interception. Jeff George changing plays. It's first down. And Ironhead Hayward gets a carry. He is stopped by Matt LeBounty.
Matt LeBounty is the guy that is playing for Reggie White. We talked to Reggie White yesterday. We talked to Mike Holmgren, and they thought that he would play about 15 plays. They want to pick the spots, and I imagine those spots, at least early in the game, would be second and long and third and long yardage situations. And I don't think they're going to play him a lot at end. I think they're going to play him more inside as a tackle position.
He says that hamstring injury hurts him when he has to come around the corner.
Packers are in a 3-man line again. This is the defense that they got the pick in last time.
They showed blitz, but then didn't. They got a good rush for 3 men. George Metcalf, he's going to score. The Falcons break on top.
And that's the thing about Jeff George. He has a strong arm. You talk about quarterbacks in this league, and you take the strength of their arm, and one of the strongest armed quarterbacks in the league is Jeff George. Here's Metcalf here. Now, he's in the slot. Now, he's running a pattern here. He's going to go out and up. Now, when they see George at anytime he scrambles, he just tells them, go deep, because he has an arm that no matter where he is or where they are, he can get it to them.
65 yards from George to Metcalf. Morton Anderson now for the extra point. So many great years with the New Orleans Saints. The Falcons just couldn't really believe he was available when they got him. 7-0 Atlanta.
Speed kills.
And a good arm helped. Falcons lead at 7-0. From George to Metcalf, 65 yards at completion. Anderson's kickoff is short, going to be handled by Freeman. He can fly. Return by Antonio Freeman. He gets into Falcon territory, 42 yards. He brought it back.
Let's watch this touchdown again here. The guy that he saw was Eric Metcalf.
2 tight ends for the Packers. Bennett was the back. Kimura makes the reception. Run out of bounds by Kevin Ross.
Did you see Eric Metcalf at the end? You know how Robert Brooks, when he scores a touchdown here, he jumps into the stand?
Yep.
Watch Metcalf, Pat, here at the end. He kind of fakes it, like he's going to do, nah, I'm not going to do that.
Pretty good form, though.
But they did, when Brooks jumps in there, they throw him back out. If Eric Metcalf jumped in, they may keep him in there.
And activated. That's Bennett running strong down inside the 30 to about the Atlanta 27. Stopped by ex-49er Pierce Hope.
I like what Mike Holmgren said about Edgar Bennett. He says he's a great lousy field player.
Yeah.
And they don't know why. Here's a guy from Florida State. In fact, he looked like he got injured.
He's coming out
on that play. And we talked to him, and he said he doesn't know why he plays well on lousy fields and cold weather, but it's just one of those things that he always does, always has.
Had a bad ankle all year long. Dorsey Levens is the lone setback. Outside it goes to Robert Brooks, and Brooks goes out of bounds. A Packer first down at the Atlanta 20.
You said, in fact, he said yesterday, Edgar Bennett, he said, I can't wait until the season's over, and I'm sure he didn't mean that he wanted the season to be over to get this ankle taken care of. He said, I'm going to have it scoped. He said, but I can't do it until the season's over.
But all year long, he's been playing with that bad ankle.
And playing very well.
Oh,
heck,
yeah.
He rushed for over 1,000 yards.
It's the first time that's happened to the Packers in a long time.
Turdell Middleton, right? Him out of those quotes.
Levens, the ball carrier. In the neighborhood of the Atlanta 15, make it the 16.
We were talking about earlier that the Packers are going to be as good as Brett Favre is. And, they have a little running game, but they're still not a running team. The Green Bay Packers are a passing team, and if they're going to win, if they're going to move the ball, they're going to do it with a pass.
Mo Gardner is down. Jumpy Gathers is already in the game to replace him. They don't lose much when Jumpy comes in, as long as he can last.
No, in fact, they gain a heck of a lot.
Yeah.
Jumpy Gathers is one of the best inside pass rushers in football.
And has been for a long time with that forklift.
Yeah, he has that human forklift. He just picks those guards up and takes them, delivers them right to the quarterback's lap.
Atlanta leads in this NFC wild card contest 7-0 over Green Bay.
It's an anemometer.
And that's our reading on the anemometer. Took me 2 years to learn how to say it. It's 34 degrees.
What are those twos doing there then?
I don't know.
That's 2.
Oh, that's the wind.
Well, the wind is 2. The wind chill is 34. I don't know.
3 wide receivers.
It's cold anyway. I don't care what that thing says.
Me either. Edgar Bennett, who came back in the game, gets the carry. Gets down inside the Falcon 15 to about the 14.5. Stopped by Jesse Tuggle. Now there's a guy, Jesse Tuggle, and we met with them last night. He was ready to play last evening.
Yeah, and I think Jesse Tuggle's the type of guy who's ready to play all the time. He doesn't have a lot of interceptions. He only has 3 all year, but he said in practice he had 3 this week, and when he gets them in practice, he gets them in a game. And he thinks he's going to get 1 or 2 in this game.
Here's Favre. Gets it to Brooks over the middle, and that'll be enough for Green Bay first down. It'll be 1st and goal at about the 7.5.
There's an amazing guy, Robert Brooks.
Really?
I was watching him practice on Friday. He reminds me a lot of Jerry Rice. He just goes full speed all the time. You see him here. In fact, that's a pattern that Jerry Rice runs, is that crossing pattern where you just come short underneath, find a hole, slow up, continue on. And Mike Holmgren says that, too. He says that he has the same work ethic that Jerry Rice has.
Well, when you put yourself or get yourself in that category, you've done pretty well. Here's Favre. Over the head of the intended receiver.
And Jesse Tuggle almost got that interception, Pat, that he was talking about. He says he doesn't give in position for a lot of them, but he said he just feels good about this week. And you see him, the ball was tipped there, and it was tipped right in the area where Jesse Tuggle was, right there. In fact, he could have gotten that on a bounce.
Chuck Smith deflected. It was intended for Levens. 2nd and goal at the 8.
He did jump in. With Brooks, they got a double jumper.
A three, a triple. There's three of them in there.
There's three of them in there.
Morgan's in there also.
Yeah, three came out, too. That's the good news. You know what Edgar Bennett did on that one, though? He took the ball with him. When Robert Brooks does it, he doesn't take the ball with him. Watch this lead here. Good block by Levin.
Oh, yeah.
Good cut back there by Edgar Bennett. And then when he gets to the end zone, he looks back just to check. No one's hurt. There's no flag. And no, he didn't take the ball with him. He left it there.
The extra point is good, and it's all tied up at 7. 8:17 left to play in the first quarter at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. It's the Packers 7, Atlanta 7.
Sony Maximum Television presents Sounds of the Game with John Madden.
Hey, if you want to really feel the game, you got to hear what's going on down here. The booms, the bams. Just listen.
Find out how the Steelers defense celebrates a great hit after this.
This is gonna hurt. Your favorite videos and TV shows come to you in dynamic surround sound. But if you don't have the right stuff, you're not hearing what you pay for. Fortunately, all you need are Sony Maximum speakers for instant surround sound. And add a Sony Trinitron TV for maximum visual impact. Maximum television, only from Sony. Now, only from Blockbuster Video, get up to 15 free rentals when you buy any Sony Maximum TV product.
KO, man! KO! Hey, if you're not hearing it all, you're not getting the full impact. Whoa! Wow!
Did you know that right now you can get one of the best deals ever on a Toyota 4Runner? Neither did my sister's boyfriend, and so I told him. Thanks to me, he just leased one for only $279 a month. Why? Because Toyota dealers are celebrating the 17th annual Toyota-thon.
This is definitely cool.
Definitely.
Definitely. You've got to hurry. Toyota-thon's ending soon.
Stacy has a New Year's date with Melrose Place's Thomas Calabro
Have a Happy New Year. Mon Poister, you big slab of meat cake.
on a brand new Ned and Stacy Monday.
Back at Lambeau Field, 7-7 tie. We're in the first quarter with 8:17 left. Jamal Anderson and Eric Metcalf, who scored the Atlanta touchdown, back deep for the kickoff from Craig Hendrick. Short kick. Very short. Metcalf. To the 35-34, stopped by Jerby.
Let's watch his touchdown again, Pat. Here's Edgar Bennett. He's going to start here, but he's going to cut back to his right because of the job that Earl Dotson and Galbraith do here. Watch, they come and collapse this whole line here so Bennett can cut right back there. Now, it's supposed to go to the left, but watch the right side of the line. You see that? Look at that collapse job there. They collapsed that whole line of scrimmage, and then he was able to cut back.
There's that wall.
I know it. I mean, that's a collapse. That's a collapse wall.
First down Atlanta at their own 35. George. Rushed and down he goes. Sean Jones. And Gilbert Brown.
Well, here you'll see the receiver. See, he has three guys on one side. That's part of the run and shoot. He has a combination here. He has short, medium, and deep. That was great coverage, so there was no one open there. And then that kind of flushed Jeff George out to the left, and Sean Jones was just out there waiting for him.
I don't know where the term coverage sack came from, but if there ever was one, that was it.
We just looked at it, didn't we?
Yeah. George gives to Hayward. And the iron head. Right now for McDonald's game break, let's send you back to Hollywood Studios and James Brown.
And great moments in Lambeau Field history, Pat, as Bart Starr and Vince Lombardi discuss strategy aiming for their third straight NFL championship. 3rd and goal at the 1 with no timeouts remaining, and Bart Starr takes it across himself to complete the come-from-behind victory over the Dallas Cowboys 21-17. Let's take it back to Pat and John.
I'll never forget that day.
I don't think anyone that's ever watched football or knows football history will ever forget that day.
I was standing right down there. Third down. George bobbles the snap from center, gives it to Ironhead, and he loses a couple. Now he comes out of the pack, but it's over.
They tried to surprise him and sneak a trap in there, but they can't do it. You don't want to get Ironhead mad. I think that's why George Teague is up there patting him on the shoulder and the head. Gilbert Brown gets a little penetration here. You see the exchange, and Jeff George never got the ball.
No, he didn't.
That ball came up and went right up through his hands. Then you're going to see big number 93 in there. See Gilbert Brown? And then once big Gilbert Brown gets in there, he weighs about 350 pounds. You're not going to go anywhere.
When you pat Ironhead on the head, you got a handful.
8 1/4's worth.
Yep. Antonio Freeman deep for Green Bay. Dan Straczynski to punt for Atlanta. Good kick. Freeman never signaled fair catch. Falcons wisely let him catch it, but they were right there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even though you don't fair catch, you have to give the guy the right to catch the ball, and then after he catches it, then you can really level him.
He was there to smother him.
Look at Mark Shmuria there. You see that tattoo he has on there?
Superman.
Look at that right there. Yeah, Superman. Brett Favre has one of those too, but Brett Favre's is higher up that you can't see it. Shmura, who's Brett Favre's best friend and one of his favorite receivers, and going to the Pro Bowl, said if he wants one of those on me, I'll put one of those on me.
And then he goes and gets in his phone booth. First down. Atlanta showing blitz. Favre looking deep for Brooks. Flag on the play. Penalty marker down. Ron Davis was the defender.
And they were bumping all the way down the field, Pat. Brooks was out there. Ron Davis was bumping.
Defense, number 28. Penalty is declined. First down.
Brooks caught the ball after all that.
And you're going to see him out here. And you'll see now, he knows right now, Ron Davis knows that he's going to go to the post. And the bumping starts there. I think the first bump was Brooks's bump.
Yep.
And I think it was Brooks's bump all the way. Now, I don't know why they declined the penalty. Why would they?
Because he caught it.
Oh, yeah, but he didn't catch it.
No, he didn't. No, I don't know.
No, I don't think. No, I think he thought that he caught it, but he didn't catch it. That was an incomplete pass, so they better take the penalty and be happy that they got it, because I think the guy that pushed first was Robert Brooks.
This is Bennett on first down. Edgar Bennett inside the Atlanta 40 to about the 38. Chris Dolman made the stop.
So that was a 35-yard penalty on that play that I think they did say declined, but if they declined it, then the ball would have been back where it was. So it had to be that they accepted the penalty.
They did say he declined.
But I think Ron Davis really played that pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, he was off there. He knew it was going to be a post by Robert Brooks, and he ran there.
Favre, Brooks, and a Packer first down. Stopped by Pierce Holt, who came out from his defensive tackle position. That must have been one of those zone blitzes.
That was one of those zone blitzes, and you're going to see Pierce Holt is in the middle, and he starts out 95. You see him? And when they rush a linebacker or a defensive back, and then they can still zone by dropping a defensive lineman out.
3 wide receivers for the Packers. Edgar Bennett, the lone back. Snow flurries start the ball. Bennett near the 20.
Yeah, we hear the word zone blitz all the time, and we talk about it, and to show exactly what it is you're going to have a blitz, and usually when you blitz, if you bring 5 guys, then you have to man. But if you drop a guy like you drop a defensive lineman out, then you can pick up. Seeing this lineman here takes the place of a linebacker, so you can still play zone. So what you're doing is you're blitzing on one hand, but not being forced to play man-to-man.
2nd and 3, Bennett gets the first down. That Packer offensive line is doing an excellent job.
Well, and Mike Holmgren's doing an excellent job of calling plays. We know that he scripts the first 15 plays. And if you look at him, he ran the ball 7 times, passed the ball 9, because that was the 16th play there. Now he goes to his adjustments. Now he's already called his 15 plays, and he goes to his adjustments off those 15.
That was Falcon head coach June Jones and his quarterback, Jeff George. 2 tight ends now, Keith Jackson and Shimura. Here's Favre. End zone, touchdown, Brooks. And now we'll jump again. Yards from Favre to Robert Brooks.
And that's the second play by Brooks. The first one was that deep one against the blitz and the penalty. Here you're going to see him right up here. You just see he's going to come like he's going to the post, then he's going back to the corner, and Walker, the corner who was covering him, slipped. And that's the thing that we talked about earlier, that it may be slippery, but it's a Packers slippery. It may be dirt out there, but it's a Packers dirt. It's their field.
The extra point by Jackie is good. You wonder why Robert Brooks does that jump into the stands after a touchdown. He told us what he had in mind yesterday.
It came about from Leroy Butler in '93. Caught a pitch from Reggie White and just continued on through the end zone and jumped in the stands, and I thought it was great. So actually, Roy, if I could borrow it, because I thought I was going to be in the end zone a lot more than he was. And I mean, it's something that I think the fans love and we love, so it makes us want to score a touchdown.
And indeed, they do love it, because he does it after a Packer touchdown.
And it just kind of goes with Robert Brooks and the Green Bay Packers and Lambeau Field and this whole setting. But he really made a move on Darnell Walker, because Walker started to go in. He went in like he was going to the post. We call that a post corner, where you sell post, then go back to the corner.
Yeah, this crowd loving it as the Packers lead by a touchdown now.
Just watch the move again. You see how he got that move, and Walker, when he started to go into that post, he slipped. That's why it may be dirt, but when it's your dirt, you understand it, and the other guy has to adjust to it.
Eric Metcalf and Jamal Anderson deep for another short kickoff. This is Metcalf. Coverage is good. He gets out to about the 26. Jeff Thomason made the stop.
You know, the other thing, when you get into playoffs, we always talk about this, but you can see it. You can see it in the pictures. You can feel it in the air. You can feel it in the stands, that the intensity rises a level. And I think you have a preseason level of intensity, a regular season, an end-of-the-season level, and then another jump up when you get in the postseason play.
No question about it. You've been through it as a coach. I've been through it as a player. And it's another level.
I loved it. It was the best time of the year. I mean, if you weren't here, then you didn't have a successful year.
George gives to Hayward. Couple. George, Teague, and Leroy Butler make the stop.
One thing they know about Ironhead is you have to get him. You have to get him in the backfield. You have to get penetration. You can't let him square up, because if he squares up and he gets started and he gets a run at you, he is tough to bring down.
He doesn't look as big as he is. He goes about 255, 256. He doesn't look that big.
Yeah, but he used to go 290, remember?
Yeah.
He said then he was really top heavy. He said you take his head and his stomach. He said that's a lot to carry over your feet.
George back to throw. Quick screen to Hayward. They play it well. Fred Strickland As soon as Ironhead made the reception, Strickland was right there.
We talked to the Packers yesterday. They said the two things that they have to stop are the screen and the draw. And they worried about that. There's Ironhead here. He's coming out on a little screen, and Fred Strickland is right there. They were worried about this play. Because Fritz Shermer says, if you take away the screens and the draws, then you can handle the other stuff.
Reggie White moves to the outside on the end of the Packer defensive line. This is where we didn't think, and he didn't think he'd be. They run a stunt. And George has to come out of there deep. Again to Metcalf, and Metcalf down the sideline to the 20.
See, that's that same pattern. It's the same thing that Jeff George, when he starts to scramble, he's going to come to the outside.
That's not Metcalf, that's Mathis. I saw the one.
Yeah, it's Terrence Mathis, and you're going to see he's in the slot here. He's coming right across on the bottom of the screen. Now you see him turn up right there. He saw Jeff George. At the moment that he saw him scramble or get outside to his right, Terrence Mathis just turns up the field. See, now it starts out as a roll left. There's no one open. Now Jeff George comes out here. Terrence Mathis sees him comes out there, and instead of running across, he turns his press off and goes deep.
That was a gain of 55. Hayward gets the carry. And he's tied up right at the line of scrimmage. Gilbert Brown. You can see the snowflakes starting to fall now.
There's some other stuff coming in here, Pat. I don't know if this is fog or what. Remember that playoff game in Chicago, the Eagles and the Bears, when they played that fog bowl? There's something else coming in here besides snow flurries. I don't know, when it starts looking gray and stuff like that, I don't know, but it's surrounding this place. I'm not a weatherman.
2nd and 9. You can see stuff coming in, though.
Yeah, I can.
George. J.J. Burden made the catch and then slipped down.
And I also know that if you're a Packer defender, that anytime Jeff George gets outside of containment, you better run deep, because all those Falcon receivers are running deep. And I'll tell you, they got that play down well. That's been their best play in this first quarter.
And just about the only successful play. As George heads for the sideline, he's going to let the first quarter just expire. Mathis, who made the long reception, and Metcalf, who scored the touchdown. It's 14-7. Green Bay.
55 yards. Those were the two scrambles. 6 yards and -4 yards.
3rd and 3 at the Green Bay 13-yard line.
This is where I think the run and shoot has problems. Not inside the 20, but in this short yardage type thing.
Well, they squeeze the field down so you can shoot, but you can't run as far. George. Incomplete. J.J. Burden had it, and then when he fell, he lost it.
He was working on Lenny McGill. And this is that one that stop fade, where he's going to throw it to his back shoulder, and he doesn't look, and Burden doesn't look, and they throw it to his back shoulder. You see, he starts like he's going to run a fade, and then he's going to throw it short. Now, that's not an accident. The Falcons practice on that. I watched them practice on that pass one day for an hour, just on that fade stop.
Anderson, the field goal attempt with Straczynski holding. Morton Anderson puts more points on the board for the Falcons from 31 yards out. Anderson's success makes it 14-10. Green Bay over Atlanta.
Time is running out, but there's one last chance at big year-end savings. It's Hyundai's Beat the Clock clearance. Time for up to $1,500 factory cash on an airbag-equipped 95 Elantra. Time for a durable, fun-to-drive 96 Accent. Now just $77.85. And now time for $1,500 factory cash on a luxurious 95 Sonata. It's the biggest event of the year. So beat it to your Hyundai dealer now, because there's no time like the present. Call 1-800-826-CARS for the Hyundai dealer nearest you.
Now get the best seat in any house. The Miller Lite Super Bowl 30 inflatable chair. To get yours, look for details where you see this display. Only from Miller Lite, official sponsor of Super Bowl 30. Light is good.
So what's it going to be, Dion? Football or baseball?
Both, boss.
Both?
Both.
Offense or defense?
Both.
Both?
Both. Both.
Both.
Pizza Hut.
Meat lovers or stuffed crust pizza?
Both.
Both? Both.
Want it all? Now Pizza Hut offers our lovers line toppings. Meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, or supreme. Piled high in a stuffed crust pizza.
So what'll it be, Dion? 15, 20 million?
Both.
Both. You'll love the stuff we're made of.
This Fox NFC Wildcard Special is brought to you by IBM, Solutions for a Small Planet. By the Accent, Elantra, and Sonata from Hyundai, some of the best ideas on the road. And by Hertz, for business, for pleasure. Nobody does it exactly like Hertz.
There was a little snow overnight here in Green Bay.
And look at that fog coming in. That's outside there. If that gets in here, you wonder what's going to happen here because it looks like it's coming in right now.
Anderson's kickoff sails to Antonio Freeman. Short kick. Freeman is hit hard at about the 33.
Yeah, this is good hitting weather down there, but I think it's bad kicking weather.
It looks like it.
You know, anytime they say, well, it's not that cold, it's not that, you know, baloney. Cold is cold, and cold affects the game.
It affects the ball.
Well, yeah, and the balls get hard, and the balls get slick, and they're tough to handle. And then the footing gets hard, and the footing gets slick, and that's tough. So, you know, you got the Falcons playing the Packers, but you also have both teams playing the elements.
Brett Favre on 1st and 10 has 3 wide receivers. Edgar Bennett deep. Favre back to throw it. Pass complete to Shimura.
They have to work those cleats all the time because, you know, that mud. And again, the only grass on this field is really in the middle of the field. And then the sides are just all dirt. You see, with the wind chill, it's 28 degrees.
And getting colder.
But here's a field here that all this stuff here is just dirt. So then when that gets wet, then that turns into mud. Then that gets in your cleats. Then you have to have a guy like chip it out of there so you can get your footing. Big old guys need their foot.
2nd and 10. That pass was incomplete. Favre to Brooks. That one's complete. He doesn't get out of bounds, so the clock continues to run. That forecast you saw a minute ago was for flurries and fog. That's not a forecast. It's here.
Yeah, it's here. Look at that. This guy's a cold weather player. And
it doesn't figure, does it?
Yeah, 32 degrees or under, he's undefeated. And he says he doesn't know why. And he says, well, maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe it's because I got big hands.
Yeah, maybe it's because he's from Kill, Mississippi. He doesn't know. Sidearms it to Mark Ingram, who's cut down short of 1st down yardage. That was 3rd. It looks like it might be about a half yard short.
Now, this is going to be an interesting call here. And if it's not a 1st down in this situation, the Packers are going to have to punt. I think Holmgren's just hoping there. Yeah, I know as a coach you're going, you know, don't leave it short. Don't leave it short. Don't give me one of those decisions I have to make.
Yeah, you get the idea. You look at Mike Holmgren. He's a guy who appears to be enjoying his work. He loves coaching.
Yeah, he's enjoying it this year. Well, he's enjoying it all the time, but he said that this has been his most fun year. Boy, this is a tough one. This is really tough. You have to punt, but it's only inches.
And it's right in front of you.
And you know with a quarterback sneak, you could probably get it. But in this game, in this situation, you have to do what Mike Holmgren just did there, or is going to do here. But you don't want to do that. I mean, you just wish that your receiver, Ingram, in that case, had just gotten a couple more inches or known where that 1st down stick was. Or had run his pattern a yard deeper.
It was only about a foot short, and it took place right in front of him. And you know, In most places, if you didn't go for it as a coach, you'd be booed roundly and loudly. But here, you don't hear anything.
Yeah. I mean, this is special. And I said earlier that, you know, if they were going to build a shrine, or if there is a shrine to pro football, to me, it's right here, Green Bay.
Hendricks kick. Metcalf signals fair catch. Makes it at the 20. Falcons will take over at that point. 1st and 10 at their own 20 after a 37-yard punt. Great names. Herb Adderley, Willie Wood, you saw a minute ago. It all began here in 1919. Vince Lombardi, of course, in 62. Earl E.L. Curly Lambeau, 1919 was when Curly first became involved with the Packers. Vince Lombardi, 59 through 67.
Yeah, we played him when I was at Oakland, and his last game, that was Super Bowl II in Miami. Talking to Ken Herock from the Falcons yesterday, who was on that team. He says, now I can see why we lost when I look at all these great players in the Hall of Fame.
Jeff George going deep. Intended for Bert Emanuel. And again, let's send you back to Hollywood and McDonald's Game Break, and here's James Brown.
Pat, here's one you know about. Vince Lombardi's first NFL championship, New Year's Eve, 1961. That man, Paul Hornung, MVP in that contest with 19 points, including this touchdown run and a rout of the Giants for the first title game ever in Green Bay. Back to Pat and John.
He had to say it was a rout. I played in that game.
Yeah, then you said that was one of the longest plane ride home.
Oh,
so I'm going to ask you, yesterday, did you ever have a long plane ride home after a rout?
I sure did. That day.
That day.
2nd and 10. George. Chase gets rid of it to Mitch Lyons. Rarely does a tight end catch a pass in this Atlanta offense. And Lyons got nothing out of that reception.
George Teague read that all the way. One thing that they're going to do is they're going to get on him, and if they're going to throw that short thing and that dump thing, they're going to make them pay for it. They want to put the quarterback on his back, then they're going to have someone on all those short receivers. The Green Bay defense has really played well today. The only problem they've had is when they've lost containment, let Jeff George get to the outside and let the receivers get deep.
Reggie White in the Packer defense now, the second man in from the top of that defensive line.
Right there.
George has time. Whips it to Burden, and Burden appears to have a first down. Leroy Butler.
Yeah, you just watch Reggie, and he has that torn hamstring. You watch him right here, and he just can't push off of it. And you watch the minute that he meets his contact there, even though they do double him, he just can't get a push on
No
that.
strength in his left leg.
When Reggie White is strong, he would just take that guard and just put him right back in Jeff George's lap.
1st and 10. George to throw it. Looks left, throws right. Manuel broken up. Good defensive play by Newsom.
That is a heck of a play by the rookie Craig Newsom. That's a throwback. You know what they do is in this run and shoot, the quarterback always rolls. Now here he's going to throw up here, but he was rolling left on this time. This was roll left, then he's going to throw right to Bert Emanuel. But Craig Newsom was with Emanuel all the way.
Excellent play by the rookie.
And that's a tough one. We talked to Fritz Shermer. That was the one that he was worried about, is that throwback. And that's the thing that Jeff George can do, roll one way and throw back deep all the way across the field.
And that requires a strong arm to be able to do that. George has it. Packer blitz. George gets rid of it to Metcalf. They have a screen call. Good call. Metcalf gets about 7.
You know, when you watch Eric Metcalf in this offense, you just feel that this is the perfect offense for Eric Metcalf. He was a guy who was a running back, but as a running back was a great receiver. And this is kind of what a slot is in the run and shoot. He's kind of a half running back and half receiver. And you can do things like this. This is a running back play here. It's a screen pass. You just get him the ball behind the line of scrimmage, and then let those linemen get out in front of him and let him run with them.
3rd and 3. Even Metcalf says he doesn't have a complete grasp of it yet, the offense.
He's getting awfully close.
Hayward, he's going to get the first down on his own.
Oh, Sean Jones upset. Sean Jones got in the backfield, and Hayward got away from him. Sean Jones had Hayward for about a 4-yard loss. But Ironhead is so strong. Watch Sean Jones. He's going to get right back here, and Hayward does something to him to get by him. But watch him. He's free. They don't even block him. Well, Hayward's just too strong for him. You're not going to tackle Ironhead Hayward with one arm. But they didn't even block Sean Jones, and he still couldn't tackle Ironhead.
Ironhead hasn't just lost weight. He's gotten control of his whole life. Everything is much better. Pass incomplete. George intended for Metcalf. Bounced off of him. The Packers almost intercepted it. Butler.
That's the thing is you see there, he just threw that ball behind Metcalf, and then it bounced off Metcalf's hand, and Butler makes that dive. That's about as close to a tipped interception as you can get.
You know, John, Jeff George hasn't been able to wear a helmet all week long in practice because of the injury last week. He can hardly hear out of his left ear.
He sprained his neck and his jaw.
Hayward shakes away from one, shakes away from a couple, and gets a couple. Leroy Butler.
The other thing about Ironhead Hayward, too, is he loves to play.
Tough guy.
Yeah, he's a tough guy who has fun, and he'll hit you, or you'll hit him, and he'll get up and smile. And if there's anything that really frustrates you, see that smile right here he has? Anything that really frustrates you is when you give a guy your best shot and he laughs at you. And Ironhead will do that to you.
He's just a joy to be around. Here's Jeff George firing down the middle. A flag on the play. The pass was complete to Metcalf, but there's a penalty marker down. It's going to be against Atlanta.
Yep, and Sean Jones is putting his hands up, saying, come on, bring him back. It's against the Falcons. Holding, and it was. That was another throwback, though. That was that, the run and shoot. Every play is a roll. That time, Jeff George rolled left again and threw back.
Offense, number 70, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 3rd down.
Bob Whitfield is number 70.
Now watch Jeff George here. This is a little roll here. Now if he throws to this side, he's throwing to the side of the roll. If he stops and throws back here, he's throwing back away from the roll. See him roll to the left here, then pivot and turn and throw back. So that's roll left, throw right, and that is the toughest one to defend.
It's not really a rollout. He sort of steps in that direction, but they call it a rollout.
Yeah, and he just gets behind the guard. They really want him out there in that inside of the tackle.
Here's George with time this time. Firing deep. Incomplete. Good coverage. It was intended for Bert Emanuel. Newsom.
The thing that you always do is you say, let's work on the rookie deep. That's an old NFL rule forever, but by the time a guy has played preseason, 16 regular season games, Craig Newsom, who was a #1 draft choice, isn't a rookie anymore.
Newsom and Teague both back there in good coverage.
Yeah, Teague was closer to Emanuel, but Newsom was closer to the ball.
Brzezinski back to punt. Packers trying to set up a return. This one gets lost in the fog almost. Antonio Freeman makes the catch, and he's got some room. Freeman is gone. He can make some things happen. And he jumps into the sand. 41-yard punt, 76-yard return by Antonio Freeman.
They're all jumping in the stands. Half the Packer team's in the stands. Antonio Freeman, a rookie from Virginia Tech. Mike Holmgren was saying that this is the guy with speed. This is the guy we have to get in the game. This is the guy that can make things happen. And I'll tell you, he sure did on that play. Watch him here. He's going to get a wall to his left. You see the wall right there? The wall is the wall of Packers. Now the only guy left is going to be the punter right there, and he just misses him.
Mike Holmgren was saying this guy is going to take Brooks's place in the slot one of these days.
See, they got a good start right here, and they just keep the outside guy from getting there. Then the wall forms.
The extra point was not good, so it's 20-10. Kickoff bounces out of bounds. And they'll bring it up to the 35.
Hendrick is having a little tough time. He was the holder on that missed extra point. Then he goes to kick off, and he kicks the ball out of bounds.
The extra point hold was juggled. He couldn't get it down. So the Packer lead is 20-10. The snap was a little bit high. He juggled it on the way down, and the attempt was never made. Falcon ball at their own 40. I said 35, 40-yard line. That's what happens if you kick the ball out of bounds. Last year was a 35. Metcalf was the move man, 1st and 10. George, Burton, George, Kuntz, after about a 5-yard gain.
That's Dan Trzynski. He's the guy who punted that ball. And you see right there, he was the last guy. If there was going to be a tackle, he was going to make the tackle. He missed the tackle and ran into the pole.
2nd and 4.
Should have been a nose tackle anyway.
Yeah.
Trzynski at nose tackle.
George, pass complete to Metcalf. That'll be enough for a Falcon 1st down.
This is what you love. When you can watch football and you can see them breathe. You know, you got good football weather, and when they get up and they have to pull the mud and stuff out of their helmet before the next play, and they got mud on their jersey, now you're talking football, and you got snow coming down. That's like turning one of those glass things upside down around Christmas time. Seeing that snow come, this is the look that you have in this game.
1st and 10 Atlanta at the Green Bay 48. George pump. Gets away from one man, lost the ball, and the Packers had a shot at it. The scramble, Robbie Tobeck of the Falcons came up with it. There's a flag on the play back at the line of scrimmage. George was under pressure.
It's going to be against the Packers.
Yep.
And one thing about Jeff George, he's a strong guy because they bounce off him and he can stay alive.
Defense number 93, 5-yard penalty.
Gilbert Brown is 93.
Repeat the down, 2nd down, 1st down.
You're going to see Gilbert Brown is number 93 right in the middle here. And he's going to grab a face mask as that arm comes down.
Jeff George, he got by the face mask.
He just got him right on the helmet and the face mask. And then Jeff George came out of that. Then got away from a few other things, and then in getting away from those few other things, he fumbled, and Robbie Tobeck jumped on it. But because of that face mask penalty, they get the whole play again. See, here he is right there. There's Gilbert Brown. Watch 93. You see, he grabbed the face mask right there. Jeff George came out of that and ran right into Sean Jones.
It's a 1st down Atlanta back at the original line of scrimmage, the 48-yard line of the Packers. George back to throw it. fires outside. Pass was dropped. Manuel had it, dropped it on the ground, and scooped it up quickly. But it's incomplete.
The thing about Jeff George, he does move the ball around, too. In this offense, I mean, it's Emmanuel, and it'll go to, Bird, and then it'll go to Metcalf, go to Mathis. You see, I mean, he just doesn't throw it to one guy. That time the Packers slept, and he did throw that ball low. But I think the thing that upset Emmanuel is the defender on his side fell down, and if Jeff George gave him any kind of pass in that situation, that could have been a big play for Atlanta.
2nd and 10, three-man front for Green Bay. Now they blitz outside people. George has a pass almost picked off by Leroy Butler.
Oh, Leroy Butler's really going to be upset. That's the second one today. Remember the early one he had, it was a tip. Here you see trips here. You have 1, 2, 3 wide receivers, and he is going to throw to this side. Butler is number 36. He's just playing a zone. He's playing right out here. He's playing the outside guy. Then he reads the guy coming in behind him, reads the quarterback throw, got a good move on it, and just dropped the ball.
3rd and 10. Packers again show 3 men down, but watch those 2 on the outside. George out of the pocket, Chase throws it away.
Reggie White had good containment on that one, Pat. They were trying to roll to Reggie's side. Look at Reggie, he's fired up now. They double-teamed Reggie, and he kept his containment. He's the outside guy, and they're going to roll to his side. So here's Reggie up here. He gets here. Ironhead comes in here. He just rides him right out there, and he darn near rides Jeff George right to the sideline. See him take on the double team. Keep containment, get upfield, make Jeff George throw it away. Pretty good play for Reggie White in that situation.
Brzezinski back to punt. Antonio Freeman back there with Mike Pryor. Pryor signals fair catch and makes it. 33-yard kick. The punter is upset with himself. Ever NFC wild card game? That's the question. Who won the first wild card game? Favre fakes, gives it to Bennett. Bennett goes left for 3 or 4 yards.
You know what's interesting, Pat, is that the Packer defense is using nickel 5 defensive backs and 6 defensive backs, but Atlanta is doing the same thing against the Packers. If you look, they're using 4 defensive linemen, they're using 2 linebackers, and they're using 5 defensive backs. So what they're doing is they're playing this Packer offense as a passing offense, no matter what the formation.
Favre gets it outside to Henderson. About a yard shy of the first down, stopped by Kevin Ross.
That's the second big hit by Kevin Ross. Remember that time earlier that the Packers had to had to punt on 4th down when they were a couple inches short? That was Kevin Ross that made that tackle to set up that situation.
And this time he made the tackle to stop Henderson about a yard shy of the first down.
He's a tough guy. He's always been a tough guy. Remember, he played at Kansas City. He was a corner. Here at Atlanta, he's a strong safety, but he was always a good tackler.
2 tight ends. Favre drops it out to Keith Jackson, and Jackson will get a Packer first down at about the 33-yard line. Darryl Talley.
How in the heck did he get that ball over Chris Dolman? Because he was going to the same side as Chris Dolman, and he was going to throw to Keith Jackson, and Dolman was right in him. He had to get that ball over him or through him somehow. Just watch the ball here. Now watch Keith Dolman right there jump up, and how that ball got through or beyond Dolman, I have no idea.
Looked like it went right between his fingers.
Yeah, well, he saw that he had Keith Jackson out there, but Dolman was between he and Jackson.
1st and 10, Atlanta blitz, picked up pretty well. Favre hits Brooks. That could be another first down. Should be.
That was one of those zone blitzes there where Chris Dolman backed out.
Again, the Aflac trivia question: who won the first ever NFC wild card game? The Atlanta Falcons, December 24th. They beat Philadelphia by a point. And did those Eagles ever look good yesterday?
Well, when you could say that a lot of people thought Detroit was going to beat them, but who would have thought by that score?
31 points in the second quarter, 7 turnovers committed by Detroit. Pass is deflected. Favre looking in the middle to Bennett. That's a big obstacle to throw over.
Well, because he just collapses the pocket. I mean, he just brings everything back at you, and see, that's jumpy gathers there. He was double teamed, but he just takes the center and the guards that are blocking him, and he'll just put them. And watch jumpy gathers right here. He's double teamed, but he is so strong and he has so much leverage that he just pushes the two of them. And as he pushes them, he's 6'7", he gets that right hand up.
4 wide receivers for the Packers. Ball is given to Edgar Bennett. And Bennett gets the Packer first down in Atlanta territory at their 45. Devin Bush made the stop on Edgar Bennett.
In today's football, this West Coast offense, this Mike Holmgren football, you don't have to be a big running team, but you have to run just enough to keep them off balance. And here what he does is he gives them that look. He gives them the 4 wide receivers, so that spreads everyone out, and then they take all the defense out, so you only have 5 guys in that box. So if you can get a helmet on those 5 guys, there will always be a running area.
Favre down the middle. Pass hit the receiver right in the chest. It was Dorsey Levens. He couldn't hang on.
That was one of those deals where some coach is going to say, hey, catch the ball before you start to run.
Favre throws the ball as hard as anybody in the league.
It was like Robert Brooks says yesterday, especially if he comes late. If you're the first receiver, it's not. But he said if you're late and he's going to come out, you see how he looked to the left. Now he's coming late to Levens, and that ball is zipped in there. But Levens started to turn his head to the left. You see, he started to turn his head to make that move to start running.
2nd and 10. Again, the Falcons split. The Packers read it, and Edgar Bennett gets the Green Bay first down before he is stopped by Ron Davis. You were talking about Metcalf being the perfect back for the Atlanta offense. Bennett is the perfect back for this offense.
I know, because he's a pretty good blocker. He's a real good receiver, and he's a good runner. He lost a little weight, and he's quicker now. I was watching him in practice the other day, and he was running like this in practice, and I said to myself, I've never seen Edgar Bennett this quick.
9 carries, 68 yards, one of the Packer touchdowns.
His backfield coaches is Harry Sidney. Remember the old 49er special teams guy?
Favre wheels it outside, complete.
Yeah, that's where he really fires this one. Watch it. I think this one comes out sidearm, like the old sidearm roll.
That went under the...
I don't know what tundra is. I think it's a field or something.
Tundra comes from Russia. It's desolate. Frozen.
Is it before the tree line?
Must be.
I think it's before a tree line.
You don't see any cactus in tundra, I know that. This is Edgar Bennett. To about the 20. Ron Davis made the stop. Coming up, the Dockers halftime report with JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. First half, Ray Rhodes and his crew. First down, Green Bay. 4 wide receivers. Bennett the lone setback. Favre pump fake. Antonio Freeman.
That's the one that Brooks was talking about, that Favre really throws hard when he comes late. And you see on that one, he's going to come late because he's going to, now he has great pass protection. If you're going to throw late, look, he pumps to the right, he looks to the middle, he runs to his left and throws to his left. And he said when he holds the ball, that is as hard as Brett Favre throws the ball. Antonio Freeman does a heck of a job of catching it.
Really does.
You know, and keeping both feet in bounds and doing all those things that a wide receiver has to do.
First and goal. They're at the 6. Bennett was the man in motion. Favre. He hit Shimura in the numbers. Hit him hard in the numbers. And the ball bounced out.
Well, that was coming late again. You know, he's going to throw fastballs. And Brett Favre did the pump before he went to Shimura. But he's going to bring the ball. He pumped it first, and then he really put the mustard on that one, didn't he? Oh, that's a perfect throw. I mean, Mark Shimura has to catch that. I don't care what that's all about.
Like it knocked him backwards. There's an injured Packer on the play.
One thing, Brett Favre does have big hands, and that was normal speed there. So you say he has to catch it, he should catch it, and all those things, but you don't have a lot of time to think about it.
Injured Packer player. Pump fake into the corner. Flag on the play. Antonio Freeman.
Because he did get his hands on him. You see, I can see from here he got his hands.
Touchdown. Mark Shimura. That one wasn't thrown quite as hard.
And I think that's why Favre was smiling the first time. Like I said, he knew there's more where that one came from, and he was going to get it right back. And not only did he get it back, but he got it back to the same guy who had dropped it earlier. This Brett Favre, you got to love him. I mean, he's a football player.
Well, he loves the game, loves to play.
And he does play, and it is a game, and it is fun. And he goes out there like he's out in some park playing on New Year's Eve day.
I got the feeling that he'd love to play that way, too, in the park, any game.
Yeah, with no shoes.
Yep.
Eating some crawfish.
Ball start. Offense prior to the snap, number 93. 5-yard penalty. One try.
How in the heck can 93 have a false start? That's big Gilbert Brown. And if you get that stuff, I mean, he probably just got it moving a little. You know, I mean, he weighed around 340, 350, and you kind of get it moving. You'd like to stop it, but you can't get it stopped.
Chris Jackie will try to kick the extra point. Henrich the holder. And Jackie's extra point is good.
He just says to him, hey,
go make a scene. Jeff George back to throw and does throw outside to Bert Emanuel. Clock running with 33 seconds left before the half. Atlanta has all 3 of their timeouts left.
And Atlanta's going to have to get some of that stuff going where Jeff George breaks containment again and throws deep, because that's been their most successful thing.
George gets it outside. The Burden steps out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 15 seconds left. Packers leading 27-10 first half.
One thing about this run and shoot, they do have 4 receivers. They have them spread all over the field. They're tough to cover, and if you don't get a pass rush on Jeff George, he's the type of guy that can come out and complete 15 in a row.
George to Hayward. Craig Hayward stopped by Wayne Simmons.
Not sure about that one. You would think that you would like to have gotten a couple completed passes here and maybe take a shot. I mean, you have Morton Anderson on your team. I was surprised they run that draw play that they didn't take a couple of passing shots and try and get into position where Morton Anderson can take a shot before the half ends.
Next weekend, catch the excitement of the NFC divisional playoffs beginning Saturday when the 49ers take on either the Packers or the Eagles. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Then on Sunday, the Cowboys battle either the Eagles or the Falcons. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check your local listings for the game and times in your area. If the Packers win, they go to San Francisco.
You know, one thing I do know is the 49ers practiced last week, and of course they didn't know who they were going to play. It could be Philadelphia, it could be Detroit, it could have been Green Bay, but they chose, and on Friday they practiced against Green Bay's plays. So if they had to pick who they thought they were going to play, they picked the Green Bay Packers.
If Atlanta wins, they'll go to Dallas. Bert Emanuel saying it wasn't incomplete.
Yeah, something was wrong with that pattern because they had two guys in the same area. I think you're going to see that Eric Metcalf was in the same place. Here's Emanuel. That's who Jeff George throws to. Scramble, but watch Eric Metcalf, 21. He runs in the same area. So you got two receivers in the same area, and the problem with that is it only takes one defender to defend two guys.
And the ball did hit the ground.
Ball did hit the ground.
2 seconds left, 3rd and 4.
Jeff George has been having that problem, especially throwing to his right, where he's thrown low 3 or 4 times in this first half.
Out of the shotgun. George, with 2 seconds left, is sacked. And down he goes. Matt LaBounty took down Jeff George, and the Packers.
Well, their special team play.
Travis Jervey, Antonio Freeman, just to name a couple of guys who've been outstanding on special teams.
And then if you look at this, the other thing that they did is they ran the ball well. I mean, you know that both these teams are passing teams and are going to throw the ball, but the Packers had 75 yards of rushing in the first half, and on the other side of the ball, Atlanta really wasn't able to rush the ball effectively.
The bulk of that Packer rushing, of course, by Edgar Bennett. Atlanta had been in the locker room a long time. In fact, they just arrived. Some of the players just arrived back on the field. Packers will receive the second half kickoff. Travis Jervey and Antonio Freeman will be deep.
They don't even have all their guys out yet, Pat. They're still coming out of the house.
While we have a second, we'd like to send our best wishes to Rankin Smith, the owner of the Atlanta Falcons, who we understand had minor surgery yesterday. I don't think any surgery is minor, but he's back at home, and I'm sure watching.
And as you say, we wish him our best. Get well.
The Falcons will kick off to start the second half. Morton Anderson approaches. Again, the kick doesn't go too deep. Jervey is the kickoff returner. He gets out to about the 28 where he's knocked down quickly.
Shelley made the tackle on Jervey.
So Shelley made the stop.